Jon Moxley is a very simple man. He wanted out of the WWE prison. He wanted away from Monday Night Raw. Walks into New Japan on his debut and wins the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. I watched this match before recording off the script, and I was very excited to see how he looked, how refreshed he looked being away from WWE, what he's done to get himself right, and how he would be in his first match since leaving WWE. And I think Jon Moxley nailed every aspect that we wanted him to a point where, come Chicago on August 31st, in what will probably be one of the biggest matches of the entire year for pro wrestling, I am fucking excited to see Jon Moxley versus Kenny Omega for All Elite Wrestling at All Out. That's going to be one hell of a match. They absolutely killed it. Moxley killed it. Juice Robinson killed it. And Jon Moxley won the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. Moxley came out not in jeans, not in his typical WWE slave attire. Came out wearing traditional wrestling shorts, not trunks, shorts. And it looked like he had gold barbed wire trim on the shorts. He had an earring in his ear, and he looked fucking great. Juice Robinson, the last time I remember seeing Juice Robinson had longer hair. Apparently, according to Kevin Kelly, he shaved his head. And New Japan, I love this, the simple fact of them telling this during the match, because I don't really keep up on New Japan, even though a lot of you guys say I should. He actually shaved his head against what New Japan wanted him to do. New Japan actually wanted him to keep the traditional hair that he had because it gave him his identity. He was very unique in his look, and Juice Robinson said he didn't need that. I'm good enough to be, your IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion without the fucking hair. So I love the fact that Kevin Kelly actually brought that up in the match, because I didn't really know. Juice Robinson, even though he lost this match, he looked fantastic in defeat, man. The fucking F-bombs that Juice Robinson was throwing around during this match, whether he was setting up a table, whether he was speaking back to Red Shoes, I love that intensity, and this is what I want out of a pro wrestling match and a pro wrestling program. This is what I want, man. That intensity is second to none. That's what really sucks you in. And not only that, it creates a competitive atmosphere. What do you think of Juice Robinson, or Jon Moxley for this matter, when you hear them being that intense and throwing around words like that? It makes the match more important. It makes the title that much more prestigious. And it gives the fucking match a huge meaning. What are these guys fighting for? Why are they so upset? Because they value the fucking gold that is on the line in that match. Man, I love that side of the competitive nature for everything outside WWE. Everything is that much more magnified and that much more important. This match started off, they actually said on commentary, by the way, Kevin Kelly is one of my favorites, man. I love listening to him. I could listen to him all day long. He's great. They actually said during the match that they did not expect this to go more than 5 minutes, just because of the nature of Moxley and what he brings to the table, and they knew the type of match that he was going to really work with Juice Robinson. So by the time this thing was over, it was like 24, 25 minutes, and Kevin Kelly even said that if you told me that this match was going to go 24, 25 minutes at the end of this thing, I would have said bullshit. I would have called you a liar. So this went 24 minutes for the IWGP United States Championship. Moxley entered through the crowd. They gave him the name Death Rider. I don't know how much more epic you can get. Death Rider, Jon Moxley. Like I said, he wore black shorts and gold barbed wire design on his shorts, and he wore traditional wrestling shoes. Juice, like I said, got a haircut. Now, Moxley, right before the bell rung, gave him the double bird. He gave Juice Robinson the double bird. I loved it. I love that intensity, and this is the Moxley that we wanted, and more importantly, needed to see in WWE. We didn't get that. So he flipped off Juice Robinson before the bell. Moxley sent Juice to the outside. The physicality in this match was at the top of some of the shit that I've seen this year for any match in pro wrestling. I wouldn't say it was the most intense match of the year, but I loved how stiff they were during this match. And you figure with Jon Moxley being back, what is he going to do? Is he really going to go balls to the wall? He gave it everything he had, and Juice Robinson did not let up at all. When they gave a lariat, you seen the sweat jumping off each other's chests. It was great. Lariat, suicide dive. His suicide dive in WWE was so fucking lame. As if he didn't even want to do it. He does it here, and it's so much better than what we see in WWE. Juice actually flipped over the fucking barricade on top of Kevin Kelly with the suicide dive from Moxley. Fight spilled into the crowd. They were brawling into the crowd. Juice Robinson at one point in the crowd went for a pile driver on the concrete. And Juice obviously was not delivering the pile driver. He got back body dropped by Jon Moxley. Juice went to the top of the entrance stage. Jeff Hardy-like. Guy jumps off the fucking stage. By the way, on the way up there, Moxley was shoving the young lions around, which was fucking fantastic. So after that, after the back body drop, Juice said, you know what? You want to play? I'm going to do you one better. He walks up into the crowd. He jumps on top of the stage where they come out to do their entrances. And he's up top. And he does a swanton bomb off the fucking stage entrance that doesn't even hit or connect with Jon Moxley. He actually takes out more of the young lions than he does Jon Moxley. And he hit more concrete than anything. So in the end, Juice took a risk. And the high risk did not pay off. It actually looked like he did himself no favors with that swanton bomb off the stage entrance. Juice then sent Moxley. They all got up. They eventually worked their way back to the ring. Juice sent Moxley into the barricade. Went for a cannonball, and Moxley moved full steam ahead with a fucking cannonball, and Juice Robinson cannonballed himself into the steel barricade. This isn't WWE, lame barricades. These are the traditional steel blue barricades. Cannonball into that. That looked fucking brutal. So he missed, and that was that. Moxley then is on the attack. This is only after 5 minutes. Moxley then started working on Juice's legs. Moxley actually was going after a cut that appeared on Juice Robinson's brow. Apparently, by brawling into the crowd, it must have been like a forearm or a headbutt of some sort that cut Juice Robinson up above his eyebrow. I'm not sure which eyebrow it was, if it was left or right, but it gave a nice aesthetic, nice look to the overall match that they were competing in with the nice little cut above Juice Robinson's eyebrow. So they were talking about, the commentary was that Juice started to bleed a little bit more and more and more throughout the match, and that the blood was seeping into his eyes, and that would make it a little bit more difficult for him to combat Jon Moxley. So they're in the ring, and Moxley went after his cut. Starts biting the cut. Starts biting his forehead. Sick fucking motherfucker is Jon Moxley. Used a half crab. Then he transitioned into an STF. Juice then bit Moxley's fingers, forcing him to give up the hold, and Juice was really bleeding, and he eventually hit a spine buster to create some separation from Jon Moxley. So they're on the outside, and Moxley's in the corner. Juice is punching Moxley in the corner. He teased the cannonball, but Moxley rolled to the floor. Juice hits a plancha on the outside, then crotched Moxley on the barricade, followed up with a huge lariat, and dropped Moxley to the outside on the floor. They're back in the ring. Juice hits another lariat. He goes for the juice box, hits it. He went to the top rope. Moxley shoved him from the top rope all the way out to the floor. And Moxley at this point was a man possessed. He goes underneath the ring. He pulls a table out from underneath the ring. He set up the table, hit Juice with a chair. If the table wasn't enough, he grabbed the chair as well. He took the chair, he nailed Juice over the back with the chair. Moxley set up Juice on the table, hit a running chair strike off the apron, a Mick Foley-like elbow drop with the steel chair on top of Juice on the table. Table didn't break. Moxley was clearly pissed at this point. So he took Juice, wanting to break the table, snap suplex Juice Robinson through the table, and the aesthetic of Juice Robinson's foot stuck in this fucking table, as the table didn't completely break, but broke enough to make it look brutal, was absolutely ridiculous. So I love that. And we got some nice outside brutality happening here in this championship match. So Moxley hits an X-Plex. I'm thinking Pete Dunne, because Pete Dunne does a beautiful X-Plex. He hit an X-Plex that looked vicious as all hell, man. He legitimately put him up in a suplex position, flipped him to a point where he didn't give a fuck where he landed, and he landed hitting an X-Plex. Beautiful. Moxley used a figure four around the steel post, Bret Hart style. Juice rolled to the outside. Moxley teased going for Juice's legs. Juice popped up and threw a chair into Moxley. Moxley was about to come off the top rope. Juice says, He took that steel chair that was being used on him just moments ago, threw it at Moxley, and Moxley landed back in the ring. Juice hit another lariat, teased a cannonball, but Moxley came back with a lariat of his own. They exchanged some strikes. Juice at this point no-sold it because he had that adrenaline rushing, and this is why I said, even in defeat, Juice Robinson looked really good. He went for the left hand of God. Moxley blocked it. Moxley went for double arm DDT, his finishing move. Juice pushed him into the ropes. They spilled over the rope onto the floor. Moxley set up another table on the outside against the barricade. Juice hit the left hand of God, dropping Moxley against the table. Did not break. Juice finally hits his cannonball into Moxley and the table still did not break. Juice at this point says, "I'm breaking this table, motherfucker." Legitimately, those were his words. I loved it. This is why I love intense competitive pro wrestling. So, Juice then set up the table again, and after saying, "I'm going to break this table, motherfucker," that's exactly what he did. He picked up Moxley and powerbombed Moxley through the table. Juice then used a Tenzon crab. It's a modified Boston crab. Like, instead of grabbing your legs, you grab the lower half of his torso and pull back. Brutal looking stuff. Moxley got out of it and hit a dragon screw. This is the beginning of the end for Juice Robinson. Moxley used a clover leaf on Juice. Juice bit Moxley to get out of the clover leaf, forcing a break. Moxley was also bleeding a little bit on his shoulder. Juice hit another left hand of God. They both teased their finishers. Juice used a cradle for a near fall, and I love the way he cradled Moxley instead of just rolling him up and going for a standard roll-up. He actually leaned all of his body weight on top of Moxley to force a 3 count, but Moxley kicked out. Juice hit a lariat. Moxley hits a double arm DDT. Juice kicked out. Moxley hit a second double arm DDT, and he got the pin. The second DDT looking more vicious than the first one. This match was fantastic. And Moxley's first match in New Japan, absolutely great stuff from both. I'm not even only praising Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley's the hottest thing in pro wrestling right now after leaving the WWE. You gotta give credit to Juice Robinson, man. That was probably the most intense I've seen Juice Robinson, and I honestly think he works best in that type of role, in that type of mentality, man. Jon Moxley enters New Japan, wins the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship. He's the talk of the town, and he even cut a post-match promo, which I'll play after this, because I promised you guys I was going to review this one match. I did not watch the best of the Super Juniors. I did not watch the whole thing. I just wanted to see Jon Moxley do what he had to do here against Juice Robinson, because you guys told me, JD, you got to go out and watch this match. It's great. Dedicate a half an hour of your time. Watch it. You're going to love it. I did, and I absolutely loved it. Moxley, man, it's unbelievable how everybody's perception of him has changed. And you could physically see how he is just a completely different and new, refreshed individual. It's amazing looking at this and then looking back at what WWE did to him and how he legitimately, you've physically seen it every Monday and Tuesday night. He had absolutely no desire to be there. And it showed. Looking back at it now, after everything that was said, and watching this, looking back at what he did in WWE, I'm not even saying the last 6 months. I'm going to go back further than that. Year, 2 years. He worked as if he did not want to be there. He went through the motions. He did just enough to please whomever he had to please. And he knew by doing more, nobody was really going to appreciate it, nor was it going to change anything in WWE. So why bother going out there and killing yourself when nobody's really going to appreciate it? And they're just going to keep you behind those prison walls, and they're going to dictate to you what you need to do. They're going to script you. They're going to handcuff you. Why? Watching him here, man, it is a beautiful thing to see. I can only hope, I seriously hope that anybody out there, and I know I felt this way, being tied down to working remedial fucking bullshit jobs that you hated. And now here I am doing what I love, talking about my passion and my love to you guys, to a wider audience, trying to break into the industry that I've loved since I was 4 years old. Watching Moxley have a new lease on life and just be a completely different person, man, I wish and pray that you guys, if you're feeling that way, can feel what I know he's feeling. It's a beautiful thing to see. And this was a beautiful situation. What a fuck you to WWE. Yes, he did build his name off what he did on the indies. WWE enhanced that. And Jon Moxley, he even said it. The first thing he said when he sat down with Chris Jericho is, I got a lot to thank, in my time in WWE. I got a lot to be thankful for. They gave me the spotlight. They made me who I am right now. I wouldn't be here right now if I didn't go through the stages of my life that I had to in WWE. I met my wife, everything in life that I've ever wanted, I got. And now here I am. It's like the universe wanted him to be there in that moment. The universe wanted him to be here. Now, for AEW, the IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion of the world. Yes, WWE gave him that stage. He's even bigger than he would have ever been. But it's such a beautiful thing to see, having him re-energized and a new lease on life, man. I can only hope that you guys feel that same way eventually in your life. Because watching him, man, I don't know. This may be the best thing that happened all year. I can't wait to see what he does against Kenny Omega in August. If that match with Juice was this good, imagine what he and Kenny are going to do in Chicago, man. Beautiful thing to see. I am so fucking happy for him, and I wish him nothing more but the biggest success in the world. This is only step one, folks. This is only step one. Jon Moxley is with AEW. They're planning to change the fucking world. I absolutely 100% believe that he and everybody in AEW will do that very exact thing. This is Off the Script, episode 277. This is part number 1. Don't go anywhere, man. We got a lot more to go over this Saturday. I know it's not really Saturday while I'm recording this, but the power of YouTube. Super Showdown has not happened yet, for me anyway. So Super Showdown is actually part 1 of the weekend's Off the Script. I'm here on your Saturday with a bunch of news and rumors. Don't go anywhere, man. We'll hit the intro, and I'll be right back.
I'm not even gonna get a chance to catch my breath, am I? First and foremost, I want to say thank you to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come over here. Thank you for welcoming me with open arms, making me feel like part of the family, making me feel like I'm at home. Giving me this opportunity against Juice Robinson tonight. To come out here, thank you for giving me my freedom to come out here and apply my trade the way I want to apply it. Come out here, freedom to be able to be out here and do me. So thank you to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Thank you to Juice Robinson for sharing the ring with me tonight. I've known Juice for a long time. I've known him since we were little kids. 20, I mean, you're a kid when you're 20. He left America and they told him, you go be a star. And there's a reason that I've been tormenting you for weeks. There's a reason why I targeted you for this. It's because you are a star, all right? And I know you're gonna come back gunning for this harder than ever, all right? So bring it, motherfucker. I'm gonna be training harder than ever. I'm gonna be ready for you. Everybody in New Japan, everybody all around the world that thinks they want to step into New Japan, I got a message for you, all right? If you're thinking about coming after me and coming after this, you better strike first. You better get me before I get you, because I'm on the warpath. I'm on the hunt. For anybody who stands in my way. All right, I ain't afraid of no man. Y'all gonna find that out. But the biggest message I can deliver, I deliver tonight in the ring. I speak the language of violence. So you go look at Juice Robinson's forehead. You go look at Juice Robinson's nose. You go take a look at Juice Robinson's leg. And you know what my message is.
This is mine.
Braves had one thing to do, man. One thing to do. I waited and I waited and I waited. I prayed and I hoped. All I wanted was Craig Kimbrell wrapped up and put in the bullpen to close our fucking games for the rest of the year. Apparently that's not happening. He's going to the fucking Cubs. Fuck you, Llama! You motherfucker! Anyway. This is Off the Script, episode 277, part number 2. I was going to say part number 1. It's part number 2 for you Saturday, June 8th, 2019. Oh, but JD, where's part 1, man? Why don't you ask the fucking Saudis? Super Showdown was part 1. Go check it out. It's live on the channel right now, man. But we got a lot to go over today. Some of the stories I got for you. Vince McMahon wants to bring back the Attitude Era on Raw. Whoop-de-fucking-do. He wants to bring back the Attitude Era. You know what I want on Raw? A Raw without Vince McMahon. How about that one? WWE already give up on a new attempt to gain ratings on Raw in the third hour. Vince McMahon enjoys writing Raw, flying by the seat of his pants. And I got news on WWE's strategy to keep several talents from going to AEW, on top of Alexa Bliss being named the number 1 contender. Everybody's asking why for the SmackDown Live Women's title. I got the answer as to why right here on the podcast, man. Make sure you guys check me out on social media at JD from NY206. That is on both Twitter. The little blue bird will thank you for the follow. And Instagram, man. Make sure you guys follow me on both. That is Twitter and Instagram. Same at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button, man. Turn on that bell for all notifications. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if you guys want to support the podcast via Patreon, patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys have donated to the Patreon, I really appreciate it. Thank you so very much. And it's there if you guys want to. You're going to get exclusive content that's not available on YouTube, and mostly everything that I do in audio form, man. So thank you guys so very much for all of that. If you guys missed any of my other videos this week, I would highly recommend you do so, man. Go check them out. Link is in the top right corner. You're going to see that little I. Drop it down. Everything you need is right there. Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. The weekly shows all covered every single week right here on Off the Script. Monday, we seen the Saudi bait and switch and a very bold prediction from yours truly about what is going to happen at Super Showdown. Did it happen? I don't know. It didn't happen yet. I'm filming this on Thursday for Saturday, so we'll see what happens. But there's the thumbnail, because Sal Rex is a fucking beast. On Tuesday, Bill Goldberg and The Undertaker. They give away half the fucking match on SmackDown Live. Why do I gotta watch it on Friday? I don't know. Plus Alexa Bliss and her becoming the number 1 contender for the Women's Championship. Lame and pathetic. And the wild card rule is ruining WWE. The Velveteen Dream tweets AEW Wrestling. That is a legit tweet, folks. That is a legit tweet. It's not bullshit. It's not bullshit. It's not cropped. It's not fucking photoshopped. It's a legit tweet. He tweets All Elite Wrestling. Adam Cole and Shayna Baszler set for a main roster demotion. I don't know about that, but we talk about it. That's on NXT because there really wasn't an NXT show this week until next week. And Super Showdown, if you guys missed part 1 of the podcast, dedicated to the Super Showdown. Not so Super Showdown. Saudi Blood Money, Sweet Saudi Money Showdown. It's there. Go check it out. Thank you guys for all the support. Off the Script today is brought to you by Harry's. Harry's.com/script. Why Harry's, guys? Why Harry's? And by the way, I love everybody tweeting me that you got Harry's because of Off the Script. Continue doing that on Twitter, man. I love seeing it. And it's awesome because it's a great product. Why Harry's? Why is Vince McMahon senile? And why is Vince McMahon ruining WWE? Anybody could take a wild guess as to why that's happening, but I know why I use Harry's, man. I love the closeness of the shave, I love the smooth glide, and I love the low price. That's very important, man. The low price. Join 10 million who have tried Harry's, including myself, and claim your special offer today by going to harrys.com/script. Let's go back to the why. Harry's founders were 2 regular guys tired of getting ripped off and paying for overpriced gimmicks when it came to their shaving needs. Vibrating heads, flex balls, handles that look like a prop in some cheesy sci-fi movie. These were just some of the tactics that the leading brands have used to raise prices for us, the consumer, for decades. Harry's makes quality, durable blades at a fair price. It's just $2 per blade. To keep prices low, they cut out the middleman. They bought out a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making quality blades for over 99 years. Now they can provide great quality at factory direct prices. And they also give you guys 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know and they will give you a full refund. JD, this all sounds great. What am I going to get when I go to harrys.com/script? You're going to get a razor handle with an easy grip. Choice of color is yours. Orange, the navy blue, or the evergreen. 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and a trimmer blade for a close shave. Rich lathering shave gel that will leave you smelling great, and when you apply it to your face, it leaves a beautiful tingling sensation, man. It feels great. And you're going to get a travel blade cover to keep your razor dry and easy on the go. If you're a man of business and need to travel for work, or if you're just spending the night at your girl's house and you got to shave on the next day and you guys are going out for a night on the town, you can take it with you on the go. Listeners of my show can redeem their trial set by going to harrys.com/script. Make sure you go to harrys.com/script to redeem your offer and let them know that JD sent you to help support Off the Script. So Vince McMahon wants to bring back the Attitude Era on Monday Night Raw. Let me tell you something, folks. This has been something that has long been said in the community for fucking years. Oh, we need to bring back the Attitude Era. Oh, there needs to be more of the Attitude Era on Monday Night Raw. Do you know what Monday Night Raw needs? A separate fucking brand from Smackdown, number 1. Number 2, less of Roman Reigns. Number 3, less of Shane McMahon. Number 4, championships that mean something. Number 5, continuity. Number 6, a new commentary team. Number 7, fucking storylines that make me want to watch the following week. And good old number 8, Triple H in charge and Vince McMahon throw away the fucking lock and key to that bitch. That's what Monday Night Raw needs. We don't need fucking the Attitude Era. We don't. What was different from the Attitude Era compared to now? Oh, tits and ass. We don't need that. We don't need that. Balls to the wall, grittiness, less script on these promos, handcuffing these guys to sound like fucking manufactured robots. I sound like Charlotte Flair and came off the conveyor belt. We don't need that. We don't need that. I could get in the ring and cut a better promo than half the fucking roster. You're not going to script me. I barely script this fucking show. That's why it's called Off the Script. Vince McMahon wants the Attitude Era on Raw. Well, this was discussed during an interview with Talk Sport. And good old Mick Foley said fans should start noticing an edgier version of the show during the third hour. Really now? Really now? If you watch Monday Night, what happened to WWE making the third hour a little bit more unpredictable? What happened to the third hour being a little bit more edgier or grittier? I didn't notice it. Did you? Wasn't there on Monday. He says this, and I quote, "The idea is that the third hour is going to be rougher, wilder, and unpredictable." Sounds like sex with somebody that I fucking love being in bed with. Rougher, wilder, and more unpredictable, Foley said. When I was GM, I knew that people were breaking towards the Smackdown show because it was the daring show that WWE needed. They took risks, and it was the darling of the internet. End quote. Fans have been complaining about the length of the show. You can add that to number 9. Cut the show down to 2 fucking hours. Fans have been complaining about the length of the show, but the fact is that WWE has to produce at least 3 hours every Monday because that is what USA Network is paying for. Maybe USA Network should only pay for 2 hours because the ratings are fucking abysmal at 3 hours, and that third hour really kills the overall rating of the show, and it kills us every Monday night because the show's too long, and the shows aren't good at all, making 3 hours on Monday a complete waste of our time. And I find it funny how all the people that I have blocked on social media are now complaining about the same shit that I've been complaining about for months. So why are you arguing with me if you knew I was right all along? This is what I don't understand. The more I seen this week about everybody's frustrations, it's like, I've been saying that for years. And now here you are uttering the same thing, but you shit on me. Why do you shit on me? Why do I gotta be the brunt of an online attack every fucking Monday and Tuesday when you all know I'm right? Wonder what it could be. Now, Foley says this, and he acknowledged this during the interview that he conducted with Talk Sport. Unfortunately, the third hour usually ends up being the least watched. Foley said this, and I quote, "The idea was, why don't you try having a third hour? It was like a giant albatross around your neck. The third hour is really difficult. I think it's an idea to have the third hour more unpredictable and more like the Attitude Era." End quote. That's not what we need. It's not what we need. The Attitude Era was never needed to make Raw great again in 2019. What will make Raw great again? And I'm not even going to go over all the necessary changes that the show needs. It needs a complete fucking makeover. Raw is the fucking fat, ugly slob, and they are right in the center of the spotlight. Nobody likes the ugly girl. All the ugly girls hang around with the good, pretty girls, right? They hang around with the hotter girls, the more sexier girls, right? So they do that because it makes them look better by association. And this is Raw. Now, the sexier girls are New Japan, AEW, Ring of Honor. I mean, I'm even going to put Impact Wrestling as one of the prettier girls, man. Because they're writing better television, according to the Impact elitists out there. Raw is that fat, ugly slob that can't get a prom date, and everybody shits all over every single week. Comes into homeroom, ooh, slobbering her way to the fucking classroom, right? Nobody gives her a fucking second look. Nobody gives her a first look because she's a fat fucking slob. Drool dripping down her fucking mouth. She's got fucking pizza crumbs at 9 a.m. in her fucking already thick beard. She got a thicker beard than I do. He's looking at the teacher. Is it lunchtime yet? That's Raw. That's Raw. But meanwhile, at home, I'm looking at my TV. Is it the third hour yet? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking like on Monday nights. Monday Night Raw, outside the necessary changes. Yes, Vince McMahon needs to go. And I honestly think that when Triple H is in charge, that it cannot get any worse than it is now. I'm sorry. For everybody that wants to shit on Triple H, Triple H is just going to take over. It's going to be the same thing. He's going to follow the model of Vince McMahon. No, he's not. Because Triple H knows exactly what everybody's feeling and what everybody's thinking. He sees it, he hears it, he knows it. He might be the cerebral assassin, but I think he is more in tune with what people want and especially what WWE needs at this stage of the game. Literally if WWE didn't have the financials that they have, where would they be? Where would they be? If they didn't have the TV contracts, the TV deals looming, if they didn't have this Saudi deal, where the fuck would they be? Everybody else is passing them every single week, creatively. Jon Moxley said it. That guy was there for 6 fucking years, longer than that. Through developmental, through the whole fucking process of Raw and SmackDown. He sees it, he knows it. He said it himself. Creative is killing the company. It sucks. Get rid of it. Change it. Everybody else is passing them. So why aren't they doing what needs to be done? I want continuity. And the other thing that we need is for this wild card rule to go away. People now are complaining more than ever that nothing makes sense. Nobody knows who belongs to what show. Championships mean nothing. You got Raw superstars challenging SmackDown superstars for championships. Tag teams not being used. 60% of your roster is not being used on a weekly basis. 3, 4, 5 weeks go by where people aren't being used at all, a.k.a. the War Raiders, a.k.a. Kairi Sane and Asuka, and everybody else that is just sitting around while their spot is being taken up by Shane McMahon. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. The wildcard rule needs to go away. It is WWE's job to create new stars that will be looked at as the stars of the future, stars that the fans will get behind for said brand. Stars that the people are going to want to invest their time in to make sure they go out of their way to watch on a Friday or a Monday. Whatever show that they opt to watch. You got everybody going on these shows Monday and Tuesday as of right now, and nothing is any different than what we see on Monday. SmackDown now is a continuation of what we see on Monday with literally no change. If you see Shane McMahon on Monday doing something with Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre, you're going to see the same shit in some form or fashion in a highlight package or a promo that you heard on Monday. Why am I going out of my way to watch Tuesday and then come on here to talk about SmackDown Live when it's literally the same thing that we heard on Monday on Raw? And I've been very vocal about if you're going to go and do the wild card rule, you might as well just end the brand split. Because there really is no brand split as of right now to begin with. It's over. It's unofficially over. I've said, if you're going to do the wild card rule, you might as well just fucking end this brand split, get rid of the titles that you're not going to use, and just go about operating the entire shows as one. Raw and SmackDown as one. Or if you want to do the brand split, then you got to go all the way with it. You got to go 100% with it. You can't be half-assed in this shit. Separate rosters, separate identities, separate feels, separate championships. That's what needs to be done. Because right now, nothing makes sense. You got to give me a reason to watch these shows. The wildcard rule is not it. The wildcard rule is not increasing the ratings. The ratings, if not, are worse. Or worse. But we all want Roman Reigns on Tuesday because he's on Monday, right? How big of a ratings draw is Roman Reigns? 0. What about Brock Lesnar? 0. What about Kofi Kingston? 0. Nobody on these shows is a star. And that's WWE's fault. Because they rather push Shane fucking McMahon for 30 minutes on Monday and Tuesday and give him 3 segments while Aleister Black is stuck in some fucking promo room purgatory. Come on, man. Vince McMahon wants the Attitude Era. I want Vince McMahon gone. And I want Raw to be where I know it could be. And I want the brand split to be back 100%. giving both of these shows a fucking identity and giving me and you a reason to go out and watch them. Because right now, WWE is making Smackdown Monday Night Raw 2.0. And I don't know who the fuck wants to model Smackdown after the worst show in professional wrestling. Speaking of Raw, WWE already gave up on a new attempt to gain ratings. WWE is doing everything they can to draw attention to Raw. And when they do get attention, they're baiting and switching. The bait and switch on Raw is heavy. 3 weeks in a row. Brock Lesnar cash in. Nope. Brock Lesnar cash in. Nope. Brock Lesnar is definitely cashing in because we're going to reprimand him and he's going to suffer the consequences. No, Friday. Friday we'll cash in. 3 times. After 3 times, the saying is 3 times and you're out. Goodbye. How many people are going to say enough is enough? 4th time, how many people are going to be there to legitimately watch the cash in? You pissed off everybody enough times, nobody's going to give a fuck at the 4th time. Now, in the 3rd hour, if you guys, and I doubt you even realize that some people might have, who the fuck is watching Raw anyway? Most of you tell me that you're watching me to find out what happened on Raw because you refuse to watch. But if you have been watching, you might have noticed that they've dropped the crowd lights. The crowd is in complete darkness. The spotlight is in the ring. Killed the big screen. Made all their graphics black and white with just the red Raw logo. This was said to be an attempt to give Raw a grittier feel. However, it looks like the company has already given up on this new endeavor. Of course they have. Because Vince McMahon said so. What is this? Where are the lights? They can't see Roman's glistening skin. So they killed that, and they gave up on this new endeavor. This is in spite of what Mick Foley just said about putting Monday Night Raw on in the 3rd hour and having it be a little bit more unpredictable, rougher, and wilder. Brian Alvarez mentioned on Wrestling Observer Live that WWE appears to have already given up on this attempt at making the 3rd hour of Raw grittier. He says this, and I quote, "They already gave up on the grittiness of the 3rd hour where they dim the lights and make everything black and white. It lasted 2 weeks. Has anybody noticed that they dropped it? I don't think so." End quote. So, there you go. WWE, they dropped this. The last week, fans got the last 20 minutes of the show with this gritty new theme because WWE needed the light on the crowd for the electric chair segment. After that, they went right back to doing what they usually do and making it look and feel like it always does. And with Monday Night Raw, nobody's excited about that. That's not even... I don't even know why they thought this was a ratings gain or an attempt to gain rate. Like, yeah, I'm going to tune into Monday Night Raw because the lighting is different. I'm going to tune into Monday Night Raw because they got the Titantron all blacked out with just the red Raw logo on black. I'm going to tune into Raw because I can't see the crowd. Yeah, because the electric chair segment's going to really reel me in, right? Braun Strowman and Baron Corbin and Bobby Lashley are really going to reel me in. Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns are really going to reel me in. I don't want to see them with the fucking lights on. The fuck out of here. This is just WWE. Oh, we tried. It's not working. We tried. You're not trying hard enough. All I want is good pro wrestling. Why is everybody else delivering good pro wrestling and WWE is not? Oh, but they got to book 3 hours every week. It's not that difficult. With the talent that you got, it's not that difficult. Bullshit. Vince McMahon enjoys writing Raw, flying by the seat of his pants. Now, Mick Foley, he's been all over the place this week. He was actually on Busted Open Radio recently. And he discussed Vince McMahon's tactic for booking Raw. He said that the announce team will be waiting until just before the show for their notes, which generally comes just before things kick off for the live broadcast. If I am a color commentator or a play-by-play guy, and I'm getting my notes mere minutes before the show actually goes live on the USA Network, I'm fucking pissed. How Michael Cole has dealt with this for over 20 years, God bless that man's soul. I don't know how he did it. He said that Vince McMahon enjoys the environment he has created backstage in WWE where he can fly by the seat of his pants. However, it is becoming even more evident that fans might not agree as much. We don't. Because when Vince does that, some of it actually translates to what we see on TV. And that's not the first time that I heard that. Sasha Banks has been on podcasts. She's been on Sam Roberts. She's been all over the place. And when this is actually raised as part of a discussional topic or a conversation piece, she mentions that Monday Night Raw is so chaotic. And back then, when SmackDown was actually putting on good shows, she's like, she walked into SmackDown and things were a little bit more calm over that. This was back in 2016 when she did this shit. It was over a SummerSlam weekend. Raw, chaotic. They don't know what they're doing, before the show, half an hour before the show. They don't know who they're fighting. They don't know what the fuck they're doing as far as a promo goes. Chaotic. You walk in there, you don't know what you're doing. On SmackDown, everything was so much more organized and peaceful and relaxed and smooth. And in NXT, Triple H has created an environment where everybody works together, where everybody is planned and organized, and everybody knows where they gotta be, and everybody knows what they gotta do. And it shows. Everything shows on NXT. Nothing ever feels out of place. Nothing ever feels chaotic or rushed. On Monday Night Raw, this is the environment Vince McMahon wants. And this is the main difference as to why people hate the main roster and why they love working for Triple H so much. Vince McMahon is worrying about himself and himself only. He loves working in this chaotic fashion. He loves this environment that he's created backstage. He loves the environment he created backstage. He should be creating an environment for everybody else back there. Because the shows are about them. The shows are not about you. What a fucking piece of shit Vince McMahon is. I mentioned on my SmackDown Live review that if Vince McMahon, the only way he is removed from WWE and removed from the position that he's in now is for him to croak, so be it. That's the only way. And people thought I meant it as a way, I want this man to drop dead tomorrow. That's the only way he's going to be removed from WWE. Do you want another fucking 20 years of this shit? Can you imagine Vince McMahon in his fucking 80s running Monday Night Raw? I don't even want to fathom. He's writing these shows and he's making the environment on Raw for himself because he enjoys it. And he concerns himself with nobody else. What a shit boss that is. So, in the meantime, at least it seems like Vince McMahon is enjoying himself as he's running Raw and SmackDown into the fucking ground by constantly changing things throughout the day as he maintains complete control over WWE's product on Monday and Tuesday night. Vince McMahon has made it impossible to gain access to him backstage. Vince McMahon runs WWE as he sees fit, and everything must go through him on television. We know this. But for anybody to actually get a hold of him before the show, if they have a concern or a complaint or if they want something changed, forget about it, folks. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. According to Fightful and their Fightful Select portion on their website, Sean Ross Sapp is reporting that Jon Moxley's shoot interview right now is currently a huge talking point backstage in WWE. They have only confirmed the statements that Moxley made about Vince McMahon. Along with whatever Moxley said in this interview, his interview holds more water than CM Punk's did because the others in the company right now feel the same as Jon Moxley did before he left. Jon Moxley would get nauseous, he said, to Chris Jericho on Talk of Jericho. He would get nauseous on Monday and feel depressed about WWE creative on Raw. This is not an isolated case. Vince McMahon is becoming harder to track down these days behind the scenes on Monday nights. It is reported that Vince McMahon has built an infrastructure that makes him tough to gain access to with writers, producers, and everybody that works around him fearing for their jobs. They must walk on eggshells because, as Jon Moxley stated in his interview, McMahon isn't shy about firing any one of them. And we'll go over what Jon Moxley said, not only on his Talk is Jericho and reiterate what he said on Talk is Jericho, but he actually did another interview with Wade Keller, which we're going to dissect sometime this weekend. How shitty is that of a CEO? When you're physically there amongst your talents, how he wants nothing to do with any of the talent. He sends people to go do his jobs and his demands. Meanwhile, Triple H is always involved with everybody. When was the last time you seen or heard Vince McMahon have a locker room meeting with everybody and let everybody know what's going on or what's going to change and how things should be? I never read anything, I never hear anything about Vince McMahon addressing any of the fucking talent. Triple H, though, if you watch his documentary on the WWE Network following TakeOver 25, Triple H, no matter what, is always around the talent. He's in the locker room giving pep talks. He's in everything that they're doing as far as getting ready for the show. By ringside, talking to Morrow, talking to Nigel, talking to all the agents, what's going on, giving people ideas and what they need to do as far as entrance goes. You're going to come out when this happens. You're going to do this when that happens. You're going to stand here so the camera hits you here and the light hits you there. He's involved in everything. Everything. And he is physically there, face to face with his talent. If they have any concerns, they go to him. Vince McMahon has not created that type of environment, and I've never seen anything along those lines with Vince McMahon. Starts at the top. Why Vince McMahon has a chaotic Monday Night Raw? Because of the way he is. Why Triple H has a well-oiled machine that is absolutely fucking running on all cylinders right now, the best in the United States. That's why. The difference between NXT and Monday Night Raw is Triple H and Vince McMahon and how they conduct things. The environment is just different in NXT, and I've said it for months. If they did just a little bit of what NXT does, every aspect of the main roster would be that much better. You know, one of the more difficult things for me to do is go out and shop for a wallet. I'm not the type of guy that's going to go out and buy a designer wallet and spend all this types of money on something with some stupid brand name logo on it. I'm not that type of guy. I usually go into the mall. I walk into Hot Topic. Oh, this Legend of Zelda wallet looks cool. Oh, this Metallica wallet looks cool. Oh, this Super Mario wallet looks cool. I'm that type of guy because it's very indicative of me and my personality and my interests. Now, I want you guys to look in your wallet. Better yet, I want you to go out for an afternoon with your father, and I want you to take a very close look at his wallet, because I know I did the same thing. I know my dad did the same thing. Look in your wallet. What do you have in your wallet right now? What does your dad have in his wallet right now? Guarantee you have old receipts for when you took the wife out for dinner 3 months ago for your anniversary. Guarantee you got old hotel room keys in your wallet. Guarantee you got business cards and contact numbers on some small piece of paper that you don't even remember who they are or where you were when you exchanged this information. You're looking at your dad and you're thinking to yourself, I got to get my dad a new wallet for Father's Day. I present to you, right here on Off the Script, the Ridge Wallet. It was actually created by a father and son team. There's the Father's Day correlation. A father and son team who value reliability in their everyday gear. They're making everyday goods that turn the things that you carry, like backpacks, chargers, wallets, into tools for better living. The flagship product of the Ridge is indeed the Ridge Wallet. It was launched on a Kickstarter in 2013 and now sits in the front pockets of 750,000 men and women, including myself. And I want you guys to think about your fathers on this coming Father's Day. Over 30,000 five-star reviews, and it's more than likely what your dad will love this Father's Day. When he thinks of Father's Day and the gifts that he's gotten, he's going to remember that you got him the Ridge Wallets. If he doesn't like it, 45 days you have to return the wallet if he does not like the product. The Ridge Wallet was actually started by Daniel Kane and his dad, Paul, proof that the utility of the minimalist wallet can span generations. Now, I want you guys to look closely at the screen that you see right here on Off the Script. You guys can save 10% off today with worldwide free shipping by going to ridge.com/scripts. Once again, that's ridge.com/script. Use the code SCRIPT. Link is down in the description below. There's a lifetime warranty. If your dad does not love it, again, free returns in case he doesn't. It comes in titanium, carbon fiber, aluminum, and over a dozen different styles and colors. I got the titanium because I love it and it feels fantastic. Once again, guys, free worldwide shipping this Father's Day, 10% off, ridge.com/script. WWE's interesting strategy to keep the Revival from leaving for All Elite Wrestling. What exactly is this interesting strategy, Vince? I don't really understand what type of strategy you have to keep Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder on the WWE payroll. I mean, you embarrass them, you call them up to WWE from NXT. They were heralded as one of the best tag teams on the fucking planet with their work in NXT. They came to the main roster, immediately shit the bed, and you didn't do them any favors. Yes, they were injured, but when they got back from injury, you didn't really do them any favors at all. Buried on the main roster, losing week in and week out, not being featured on Superstars with the fucking Lucha House Party, on Main Event with fucking Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. You talk about house shows at WWE live events. The Revival and the Glorious Ones were tearing down the roof at these WWE house shows. So WWE gives them the Raw Tag Team titles. Finally, you booked them in a fucking tag team title match at WrestleMania to lose the titles to Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, a match that was made 6 days before WrestleMania with legitimately no planning whatsoever. You gave them the titles, you shit on them with the championships, promising them that tag team wrestling was going to be a focus point in WWE and that the titles were going to mean something around their waist. You lied, you bullshitted them, and you had them drop the titles to someone who lost 271 matches in a row, or whatever the fucking number was. Whatever. Now here they are. They went through this Usi hot phase, prank wars with the Usos, and now you're booking them legitimately alongside your son in Shane McMahon, alongside Drew McIntyre and Elias against the likes of Roman Reigns and the Usos. So what exactly is your strategy, Vince? To now book them strong again in hopes that you think that things are getting better and they're hanging with main event talent? Not working. Not working. The damage has already been done. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on you. Done. Done. The two opportunities you had to book the Revival, and you dropped the fucking ball. They're done. Their contracts are coming up next year after WrestleMania, and they are as good as gone. They will be a staple on AEW's tag team division and on TNT. So what is this strategy? Dave Meltzer discussed the Revival's treatment on WWE programming during Wrestling Observer Live this week. It is a rather interesting situation that seems to change from week to week. We will just have to see what WWE has planned out. He says this, and I quote. So the first thing that they do is, we don't want you to quit. So they put the tag team titles on them. Check. Now you will see that things have changed. Will you sign for 5 years? No, they don't want to sign. All right, so now we're going to bury you, and we're going to treat you like dirt. Done. They still didn't sign, so now we're back to square one. Now they're going to try to make them look really good. After everything that WWE has done, why the fuck would the Revival sign 5-year contracts, let alone a single-year extension with the WWE? They're going to ride this thing out. They're probably going to keep their mouths zippered, and when their contracts are up, goodbye. We don't want anything to do with you. They'll be with Jon Moxley in AEW. I'm sure they don't want to lose them, and I think that's the key, but it is surprising because a lot of guys who want out of there are either being buried or not used, but these guys are going from the depths to the penthouse now, working with Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns. End quote. WWE does seem to be jerking the Revival around a lot, so you never know how they'll be used on a week-to-week basis. Perhaps Vince McMahon is planning something for the Revival, and this is his plan all along, but it's not going to help Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson change their minds at all. Done. Done. After everything that is done, I don't want to see them stay with the WWE because WWE already promised them change, and that change has not come. You proceeded to bury them. Now, as the clock slowly starts to tick away, and they are hinting at going to AEW, now you want to start treating them good. Should have treated them good all along. Not only them, but everybody else that came up from NXT, you should have treated very well. Triple H handed you gold on a fucking platter. And what do you do with it? You just throw it away. Throw it away and waste everything that Triple H has done. Revival included. They're done. Good is gone to AEW. You'll get that match with the Bucks. You'll get that match with the Lucha Brothers. You'll get that match with LAX and the Best Friends and Angelico and Jack Evans. It's going to be one hell of a tag team division over there in AEW. Not only with the Revival, but the Good Brothers are going to be over there as well. They're keeping their mouth shut. It's the only thing you can do. And WWE is going to be shit out of luck in the end. Good. I can't wait to see when all this talent leaves and WWE's like, what happened? What happened? How can they walk away from money? How can they walk over to AEW? AEW is looking like the WWE wasteland. They're looking like TNA. No, you think that way because you already deem this talent worthless. You think that way because all you did was scoop this talent so that they don't go anywhere, and then you want to make excuses as to why they want to leave or why they end up somewhere else. It's your fault. It's your fault. You have too much talent that you know what to do with. And this is a product of that. You thought you slick. Let's scoop everybody up so they don't go anywhere else. Now you have too much talent, and the talent that you do have is great, and you bury anyway. Good. Hope it comes back to bite you in the ass. More superstars are gearing up to bury the company after they leave WWE. Jon Moxley, we all know, the podcast heard around the world on Talk is Jericho. He buried WWE Creative. He buried Vince McMahon. I said that I don't really think he buried Vince McMahon because we all knew. If you've been listening to me, we all knew. We all knew what was going on in WWE. Our thoughts and our fears were just legitimized on that podcast with Moxley and Jericho. Now, while speaking to ESPN, who is a brand in the sports world that is working with the WWE to get WWE news out there, to cover WWE. Here they are mingling with Chris Jericho, who is the face of AEW. In an interview by ESPN, I wonder how Vince McMahon thinks about ESPN covering AEW now and asking AEW talent for written statements. Jericho revealed that he already had a number of WWE superstars who want to be on his show to vent their frustrations once they are free from WWE as well. This is a very interesting situation considering the number of superstars we already know that are unhappy. So if you enjoyed hearing everything Jon Moxley had to say about WWE, this could only be the tip of the iceberg because apparently there are more WWE superstars who can't wait to tell their side of the story once their time is up with WWE. I do wonder if all new WWE contracts, and I would not be surprised if this happens, if all new WWE contracts from this point on, moving forward, have some type of clause where they cannot speak badly about the company, like an NDA, like a non-disclosure agreement. I'm imagining WWE going through this process because they know, after the Moxley interview, they don't want their company to be shit on and look like a bunch of fucking idiots in the wrestling world. That interview was so damaging. I cannot even begin to tell you how damaging that was. If you are, and I mentioned this, if you're an outsider looking in, and your dream is to go to WWE, you have a ceiling. Everybody has a ceiling. WWE makes it seem like you need them to be the biggest star in the wrestling world. That's not the case. They want you because they don't want anybody else to have you. You'll go to WWE, you'll start in NXT, you'll start at the PC, then get on NXT TV, and it all looks and sounds great. You'll be on TakeOver. You'll be heralded as the biggest thing in WWE, the biggest star coming on up. What happens after NXT? Look at Aleister Black. Look at Ricochet. And those are the two guys that stick out. Look at the War Raiders. Look at Asuka. Look at Kairi Sane. Look at everybody that is not being used right. Look at Tyler Breeze. Look at Apollo Crews. Everybody that's come up from NXT. EC3. You have a ceiling. Do you want to put yourself through that? They're never going to change their way. So they want you so that nobody else has you, but they're giving you a ceiling. And more than likely, 99.999999%, you are not breaking through that ceiling. Not unless there's a change in management, and there isn't going to be a change in management until Vince McMahon drops dead. And who the fuck knows when that's going to happen. I would not be surprised, because you got the Revival, you got the Good Brothers, Sasha Banks possibly, we don't know what the hell's going on with her status, and everybody else in that company that is waiting for their contracts to come out, that are disgruntled. What are they going to say when Jericho invites them on his podcast? Or they go to a Wade Keller, or they go to a Jim Ross, or they go to a Sam Roberts and do this thing and just lay it all out there. My time in WWE, this is what they did to me. This is what I felt. This is how shitty the creative is. This is what they had me do. Wasting my time away. I sat in catering for months and months and months and months, doing nothing. Imagine what those people are going to be expressing to the world. Does WWE want that? With every new contract that comes out and they offer to new talent, I would not be surprised if they put in a clause where people cannot talk about the company and the time that they spent there because of what Jon Moxley did. Because that was terrible. Absolutely terrible. It painted WWE as the worst promotion to go to. How do you like having a ceiling placed above you when you know that you're so much better than that? Why would you want anybody to place a ceiling on your potential? Because you're getting guaranteed money from WWE, you're getting a big lucrative deal. That only takes you so far. That only keeps you happy a little bit. A portion of your heart is happy, knowing that you're financially secure, that your family's going to be taken care of. But after a while, that starts to fade away. Yeah, you're making money, you're getting that paycheck every week, but 3 years have gone by and you've sat in catering for 3 years with no WWE TV time. I'm not getting my brand out there. I'm not getting my skill out there. I'm not showing my potential to the world. Yeah, you're making the money, but how happy are you in here? You're not. And if you are, and you say you are, you're lying. You're lying. Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze was one of those guys that would argue back and forth with people on social media. Oh, where's Tyler Breeze on TV? You're worth so much more than what you're doing right now. The fashion police is a joke, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I just bought my 4th house. Oh, I just bought a yacht. Baron Corbin showing off his fucking cars. Baron Corbin every fucking week's got a different watch. Got a Rolex Submarine. He's got a fucking Panerai Luminor. He's got an IWC Top Gun. This is going to make you happy? That might make him happy, but at the end of the day, who the fuck is Baron Corbin? He's going to be looked at as a nobody at the end of the day. He isn't going to break out. I know Baron Corbin's got more potential than what we see of him on WWE television. WWE has placed him in a position, and they are telling you, without really telling you, this is his ceiling. He's never going to go above this margin. How happy are you? Tyler Breeze bragging about how many fucking houses he has. And here he is back down in NXT. So what at the end of the day won out? You wanting to wrestle and express your art to everybody watching won out. I don't know what his deal is now with pay. I don't know what the deal is with WWE once you get promoted from NXT to Raw or Smackdown, and when you get brought back down, I don't even want to mention it in that way, being brought back down. You're actually being brought up if you go back down to NXT, just based on the quality of the fucking shows. I don't know if the money you're making is fluctuating in that period. I don't know if the money you're making on Raw and SmackDown is going to take a decrease when you go back down to NXT, or he's making the same as he would have been making on WWE television. I don't know. That's none of my business, but one has to wonder. And I doubt they're going to take money from him. Doubt they're going to fucking take pay away from him. Why the fuck would they do that? So what won out in the end for Tyler Breeze? The fucking heart and the love and the passion he has for this business. And the houses, yeah, they're great. Yeah, he's got a happy wife, he's got a happy life. But that's only going to keep you happy for so long. You eventually want to be a breakout guy. People don't get into wrestling to break their bodies down to sit around in fucking catering. You want championships. You want WrestleMania. So, I don't want to hear it. I really don't. Happiness comes from you expressing your art. Moxley, I just talked about in the beginning. That man has never looked fucking happier. Why is that? He's getting paid what he's getting paid, and he's expressing his art. That's the most important thing to him. And that should be the most important thing to everybody who wants to come into the WWE and now realizes that it might not be the best decision. Especially with AEW now, they're going to give you an alternative. I don't need to go to WWE to make the money. I could go over here and make just as much money. I don't need to make the money WWE is paying me, but I'm going to make just enough to be fucking content and happy, and I'm going to be given creativity to let my art and all my hard work for years and years and years that I put my body through to shine through. Yeah, more superstars want to bury the company. And like I said, I would not be surprised if WWE puts a non-disclosure agreement in all their contracts moving forward. Roman Reigns. Here we go. Roman Reigns expected SummerSlam opponents revealed. It's not going to be Shane McMahon, and if it is, please put a gun to my head and blow my brains out. Roman Reigns versus Shane McMahon has been ongoing for a while, and I still don't know why. But they can't battle all summer. Otherwise, it's going to fucking completely kill the shows forever. No coming back from this shit. I don't even know why the fuck they're feuding now. Still no explanation was given. Now, Roman Reigns on Raw mentioned to Shane that he will have Drew McIntyre at Stomping Ground. And it's being advertised that it's going to be Roman and Roman only against Shane and Drew McIntyre at Extreme Rules. Get the gun ready, folks. Get the gun ready. But Roman Reigns has a new opponent for himself for SummerSlam. There have been rumblings that Roman Reigns will enter a program with Randy Orton, and it is expected that the two will battle through SummerSlam. Therefore, it looks like Reigns will have another opponent in the summer months. Doesn't really excite me. It set the world on fire there. Literally, right now, if you put Roman Reigns against anybody, I'm changing the fucking channel. I don't give a shit. You could bring back the spirit of Owen Hart in his prime and put him against Roman Reigns. I still wouldn't watch. Roman Reigns is a channel changer. Roman Reigns is a ratings killer. Roman Reigns is the definition of boredom. He absolutely offers nothing. And the only people, and I mean this wholeheartedly, I don't mean this as a knock to anybody, the only people who admire and enjoy what Roman Reigns is doing right now with Shane McMahon are lunatics, delusional fucks, the fucking people on social media who have absolutely no profile picture, that have Roman Reigns as a fucking header in their Twitter profile and says, super fan of the Shield, Shield forever in their description. Middle-aged women with 4 kids and a fucking husband that doesn't want to treat them right or is completely disgusted by their smoking habits. Roman Reigns only attracts those people, those little kids who don't know any better, or the fucking goons over in India. That's it. People like me and you, Roman Reigns isn't going to do anything because Roman Reigns is a dead gimmick. His character is not believable. His character is nauseating. It's not real. It's not genuine. It's not natural. And putting me in Shane McMahon is absolutely channel-changing fucking filth. So putting him against Randy Orton is actually doing Randy Orton bad. Because Randy Orton's great. I want to see more heel Randy Orton. And I hope we do if this is the case. Putting him in the ring with Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, it's not going to do anything. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Randy Orton can make it interesting, but I highly doubt it because Roman Reigns, you put him in there, he's a charisma vacuum. Will suck the fucking soul out from you to a point where you don't want to watch. Speaking of not watching, we ain't watching Sarah Logan. Where the fuck is she? The Riot Squad is no more. After the Superstar shakeup, they broke up the stable. Ruby Riott, out with injury. Liv Morgan is on SmackDown Live. Who the fuck would realize that? Because she has not been used since moving to SmackDown Live. Maybe it's for the best. Honestly, maybe it is for the best that Liv Morgan is not on SmackDown Live because Raw and SmackDown are fucking atrocious. Now, Sarah Logan competed on Main Event this week as she teamed with Tamina Snuka. I'm sorry to hear that. And her partner, Tamina, Nia Jax, was taken out of action for a double knee surgery. Natalya and Dana Brooke beat Sarah Logan and Tamina this week. This is why nobody watches fucking Main Event or Superstars. Natalya and Dana Brooke beat Sarah Logan and Tamina this week, but that might not be the end of the story for Sarah Logan. The Viking Raiders. Who? Who? Oh, the War Raiders. Ivar and Eric. What? Oh, Hanson and Rowe. Oh, that's who you mean. The War Raiders. They have not been featured on Monday Night Raw. I don't know where the fuck they went. Maybe their Viking vessel crashed and they drowned and their bodies have went undiscovered. I don't fucking know. At this point, I would not be surprised. But it was rumored that Logan could be joining her husband, Eric, Hanson, and Rowe. She's married to Rowe, not Eric. I don't know who the fuck this Eric is. I know an Eric, and his nose is like this. It's like a fucking snuffleupagus. You ever see that fucking Sesame Street character? That's what he looks like. Got a huge fucking mole on his face, you fucking clown. So, I don't know where I'm going with this. Sarah Logan's married to Rowe. The War Raiders are not on television. Sarah Logan's not on television. They are all Vikings. Legitimately, they all practice Viking. Do they listen to Amon Amarth? I don't know. Maybe. I know Eric Rowan does, because he came out wearing an Amon Amarth t-shirt recently. Liv Morgan was asked why Logan wasn't with them on the recent European tour. She replied that Sarah Logan was off doing Viking things. It was also rumored that WWE was filming some vignettes, so possible that Logan could be placed with the War Raiders. Only time will tell what happens there, but we could have a new stable on our hands, folks, and they could place Sarah Logan with her legitimate husband in Rowe in the War Raiders. Hanson, Rowe, and Sarah Logan could be a faction coming to WWE television. Good. Because she started off in the Riot Squad with this fucking country hick gimmick. Me drinking Budweiser and playing the banjo on the porch. And I gotta go milk the cows. She had that type of gimmick. Be raised on the farm with the pigs and the sheep. You know? She did that type of thing. Now, they changed her slowly without any explanation, of course, because why the fuck would WWE explain anything? She goes from country to coming out with fucking Viking war paint, and she's got ripped fucking clothes and all this other shit. She was a country girl, jean shorts and a fucking tank top. Then she comes out dressed like fucking, she's ready to go to a Amon Amarth concert, fucking doing the headbang and the fucking devil horns. So, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Sarah Logan, but if this is the case, I think that fits perfectly for her because she'll be in her element, and we may see more of her real-life personality shine through, which in turn would get me a little bit more interested in who Sarah Logan really is. Because WWE didn't express who Sarah Logan was, they just threw it on you with no explanation, and if they do some sort of explanation, we do see some vignettes, I might be a little intrigued to know who Sarah Logan really is, and that's going to translate to television. This should have been done from the beginning. Now WWE comes up with these things. We still don't even know if this is legitimate. So we're going to see what happens. Only time will tell what happens with Sarah Logan. Why Alexa Bliss is back in the title picture so soon after injury. Because she's got a nice ass, she's got perky tits, and I'm sure she did a favor backstage for somebody in WWE. The better question is, why isn't Buddy Murphy on WWE television? I'm assuming his relationship with Alexa Bliss was ended. Somebody in WWE found out the news, and they proceeded to bury poor Buddy Murphy. Sure, Buddy Murphy would be welcomed with open arms in AEW. Especially if you put him against someone like Kenny Omega, or a Cody, or a Pentagon, a Phoenix, anybody like that. Here they got one of the best fucking guys in the company in that ring on Smackdown Live, and the shakeup has been, how many weeks removed from the shakeup are we? And here we still don't have Buddy Murphy on television. Why? I swear to God, if I was in charge of WWE come October, before October, I would hit a fucking reset harder than you could fucking breathe. Because this company needs it. There needs to be separate rosters because the wild card rule is taking someone like Buddy Murphy and they're not giving an opportunity to Buddy Murphy because of said wild card rule. Now, because you need Shane McMahon and Roman Reigns and Elias on SmackDown Live. You need Drew McIntyre on SmackDown Live to sell a storyline that nobody has any interest in. Nobody has any interest in Alexa Bliss being in the title picture so soon. especially when she's a Monday Night Raw superstar. Alexa Bliss won a number one contenders match on Smackdown Live this week in a match against Carmella and Charlotte Flair. Alexa Bliss is in a number one contenders match for the Smackdown Live Women's Championship. It's bad enough that she isn't even a SmackDown superstar, but she hasn't even wrestled because she was out with concussion symptoms. So in what fucking universe, legitimately, is Alexa Bliss a number one contender? And then you got the Alexa Bliss fucking pussies out there. I love it. JD's upset because our Alexa Bliss is in the title picture. It brings me great joy. You know what brings me great joy? To know that I'm right and that you're a fucking idiot. That's what brings me great joy. I sit here every fucking week, smiling from ear to ear, knowing I'm right and 99.9% you're wrong. If you're cheering someone like Alexa Bliss getting a title shot undeservedly, you're the fucking issue why the product is so fucking garbage. She hasn't even wrestled. First of all, she wasn't even hurt. Nobody's selling me on the fact that she was fucking hurt. Bullshit. Carmella. Didn't Carmella lose to Mandy Rose a couple weeks ago? Why is Carmella in a number one contenders match when Mandy Rose beat Carmella a couple weeks ago? Shouldn't Mandy Rose be in the number one contenders match because she beat Carmella? Yet I'm wrong. Charlotte. As soon as the World Championship is said, she's there like fucking blood in a pool full of sharks. She's there because she's Charlotte Flair. How ridiculous is that? So Alexa Bliss wins and she's challenging for the SmackDown title, being a Raw superstar. This didn't go over well the first time. What do you expect to happen the second time? This is your life, Bayley. We got a shitty fucking feud and a shitty fucking match. Alexa Bliss is fucking just a goddamn atrocity in the middle of the ring. Oh, but JD, she did a Twisted Bliss. So what? So what? Twisted Bliss is nothing more than coming off the top rope and bloop, onto your opponent. Nothing but a glorified fucking splash. That's the only thing that she could do. Isn't she a gymnast? She bends in other ways, I'm sure. So why doesn't that translate to the fucking ring? Give me a break. The point of the matter is, putting the woman illogically in this position is actually a fucking pathetic storyline for WWE that has absolutely no logic at all behind it. Here I am questioning. Am I wrong for questioning? No, I don't think so. Why is Alexa Bliss back in the title picture so soon? Because she's fucking blonde. That's why. Why did Carmella switch her hair color, which she looked better with the red hair than she does the blonde, in my opinion? She changed her color back to blonde. Look, she got a number one contenders match out of it. Charlotte, she's blonde. Mandy Rose, she's blonde. Lacey Evans, she's blonde. Before you know it, Nikki Cross is going to be blonde. Why isn't Ember Moon on television? Because she's not blonde. Or white. I'll throw that in there. You don't think that's a real thing? Believe me, it is. Wrestling Observer Live. Brian Alvarez discussed Alexa Bliss' history of concussions, quote unquote. And she said, or he said rather, that she's had a lot of them recently, far more than she should have. This doesn't seem to change the fact that WWE keeps using people as soon as they're cleared without giving them time to make a slower transition back to the ring. Maybe that might be the best tactic to take on from this point on. He says this, and I quote, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's been at least 3 concussions this year. Sure there has been. There might have been 1, but there wasn't 3. 3 concussions, he says, this year, and I'm pretty sure these weren't the first 3. So the thing that bothers me is, the reason this bothers me is the way that WWE does their concussion protocol is you're cleared and you're not cleared. End quote. He goes on to say this again, and I quote again, so if you're not cleared, you don't do anything. If you get cleared, even if you're just coming off a massive concussion, you're all in. If they want you in a ladder match, you're in a ladder match. If they want you in a TLC match, you're in a TLC match. To me, this sounds ridiculous. Like, if she's coming off a major injury, maybe she shouldn't be wrestling right now. I realize the thing says cleared, but to me, it's not pass or fail. It's like, you're cleared? Maybe we should ease you into the whole wrestling thing, and that's not the way they do things. I think that should change. End quote. Well, Mr. Alvarez, I love listening to you, and I love your opinion. They did ease Alexa Bliss back into this situation because she doesn't really wrestle at all anyway. She didn't really do anything on Tuesday night to even warrant winning the match. What the fuck did she do? She did a Twisted Bliss. Oh my goodness. Let's throw a fucking parade. She's cleared. She didn't do anything. She did that, and the only thing I remember seeing from Alexa Bliss is a botched fucking tilt-a-whirl head scissor takedown on Charlotte that she fucked up completely. What did she do? She took a few knife-edge chops. She broke up a pin. What did she do? It's not like she was fucking slammed around and thrown around like a fucking Barbie doll. They eased her in. They had her do as minimal work as possible and gave her a title match for it. Whatever the case may be, it's fucking pathetic. It's pathetic that Carmella was there and not Mandy Rose. It's pathetic that fucking Charlotte is there. Just period. It's pathetic that Alexa Bliss is a Raw superstar challenging a SmackDown superstar. Because why the fuck not? Brand split doesn't exist. It's pathetic that WWE randomly chooses women on a given Tuesday to challenge Bayley for the championship with no competitive aspect. Wins and losses don't matter. Nobody's been built up. You haven't used 60% of your women's roster. And WWE just comes up, we got this idea, we'll do this for number one contender, and none of it means anything. Fucking awful. Lars Sullivan, speaking of fucking awful, his promo on Tuesday was god-awful. WWE did nothing more than highlight his past and ruined every ounce of credibility that Lars Sullivan had in front of the fucking audience. I've been defined by one word. Do you know what that word is, Kayla? And they go on to say freak. And talk about Lars Sullivan being a freak. How he was looked at as an outcast all his life. And he's taken all that anger that he's developed all these years and now is translating that into the ring. Meanwhile, the only thing that resonated with me is racist, bigot. And I'm a guy that actually went out of my way to defend Lars Sullivan, saying people can change. He made a mistake. He's going to be better off for it now. Yes, he was fine. Yes, he suffered the consequences. Now he's going to move forward and be a better person for it. We all deserve a second chance. But here WWE's making light of this and bringing this to the fucking public eye, leaving an open-ended fucking promo sentence like that. What do you think people are going to think? They ruined him. Not only with the scripted fucking verbiage that Vince McMahon had him go out there and spew, but they left that open-ended sentence there to fill in the blank, and everybody was thinking the same exact thing when he said it. But apparently they have a long-term plan for Lars Sullivan. What it is, Meltzer discussed this on Wrestling Observer Live. Needless to say, WWE has plans for Sullivan, but it might be for a while until the fans are ready to cheer him. That is going to be an impossible task. Get fans to cheer Lars Sullivan? Lars Sullivan comes out, and you could drop a fucking penny on the ground in any arena, and you'll fucking hear that shit reverberate throughout a 15,000-seat arena. Nobody says anything. Nobody reacts to anything Lars Sullivan does. He comes out to silence, and this is WWE's fault. This is WWE's fault. They've started booking Sullivan miserably, and now we're 4 months later, and here we are. And that's the first promo they have him go out there and cut. Scripted garbage. Meltzer says this, and I quote, I mean, with Lars, they don't even get the monster. I know with Vince, especially when he said that one line about bodily fluids, and the announcers start laughing. It's like, oh God, they're writing for Vince, and Vince actually likes this, and the announcers have to laugh at something that's not funny. It was just really bad. I didn't really hear the announcers laughing. Someone please fill me in if the announcers were laughing during this promo. I don't think they were. Maybe away from the microphone, but I didn't hear anybody laugh during this promo. I was laughing at how fucking bad it was. I wasn't legitimately laughing because it was comical. I was laughing because it was fucking terrible. It's not like they've got this idea that Lars is this tortured guy who his whole life he's been called a freak, so because of that, he acts so violently on everyone, and he's actually, in a weird way, very intelligent, which he is. If you heard him in NXT, he carries himself and speaks very intelligently. This is the idea of his character. They're already working with the idea that someday, like Braun Strowman, he'll be this big baby face. I can already see it. Maybe. I just think he should be a monster and never talk. That's the way Meltzer interpreted it. Never talk? After Tuesday, I think that's the way we need to go. WWE obviously has big plans for Lars Sullivan because they didn't fire him. They fined him, but they didn't fire him. And they keep putting him on television, and they're booking him to look pretty strong on television. So we'll see what happens. Vince McMahon clearly is a fan of Lars Sullivan. He clearly is a fan of the bigger guys. We'll see what happens, but as of Tuesday, I don't know if there is coming back from what Lars Sullivan did. At this point, we are at the point of no return with Lars Sullivan. That is just my honest opinion. Finally, guys, we're going to end with this story because I liked this story enough to put it in the podcast tonight. And I agree with him 100%. I agree with Enzo Amore when he says WWE broke him and Big Cass up because their popularity was just too scary. Enzo and Big Cass, clearly on the indies, they're trying to make a new name for themselves away from WWE. They seem to be doing okay. They're feuding with Logan and Jake Paul right now. I don't know where the fuck that's going. I have not paid attention to that, but God bless them. But Enzo spoke to Keeping It 100 with Conan, where he went into why he thinks WWE broke up his team with Big Cass. Because the realest guys in the room were selling a ton of merchandise, which apparently worried some people near the top of the card. He says this, and I quote, "If you think about it, me and Big Cass at one point were number one merchandise selling wrestlers in WWE. In the height of our run, we were split up in the number one ratings draw in the company." Oh, well, I don't know about all that. They were not a ratings draw, but they were definitely one of the most popular acts in the entire company, for sure. If you had kept me and Cass together, or given us the tag team titles, or given us a push towards the title, and the other one pushed towards the title, there was some major superstar potential there, which was scary, and a scary thought to those in the higher up position, or they creatively had a different take. End quote. Now, we'll never know what the actual reasons are for breaking the team up. It was honestly a day and age in that time period where WWE had tag teams and they felt like it was the thing to do. It was the flavor of the fucking period in that time to break up tag teams. They did it with Enzo and Cass. They did it with Gable and Jordan. Ridiculous. It was fucking ridiculous. But for Enzo and Cass to break up, it was always a mistake. And I honestly do think Enzo was onto something until he got to the point where he said that they were number one ratings draws. They weren't. Were they the most overact in the company? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should they have been given a shot at the tag team titles? Absolutely. In a day and age when they were there together where the tag team division was fucking terrible, you couldn't give those two guys a run at the tag team titles. I mean, didn't they start out feuding with the Dudley Boys? How the fuck did you fuck that up? Enzo was onto something before he mentioned them being a number one ratings draw. WWE has always gave off the impression that nobody is bigger than the company. So WWE broke these guys up. I don't know why they broke these guys up, because neither one of them was able to carry their own load and go on to have successful runs on the main roster. They were going to sink like a box of fucking rocks. Both of these guys. Enzo didn't do anything. They tried to push him on 205 Live, and you completely deviated away from 205 Live and what 205 Live really needed to be. You injected Raw and the garbage booking of Raw onto 205 Live, shitting on all of their bodies of work by putting Enzo on that show, who can't wrestle on his own, as the Cruiserweight Champion. Then you got Big Cass, who could not cut a promo all that well. He could not handle himself in the ring. They put him in a fucking match with Daniel Bryan and a feud with Daniel Bryan, and he could not carry his own load. If you can't have a good match with Daniel Bryan, clearly you are not set on the right path, and you should not be as a singles performer. I don't know how WWE didn't realize this. They broke them up because of their popularity. WWE has always gave off the impression that they don't want anybody else to be bigger than the fucking company. They don't want anybody taking the spotlight away from WWE, the brand. If they had these guys doing what they did and continued doing and building on what they were doing, who knows how popular they would have been. WWE did it out of spite, and they did it being completely misinformed. They fucked up, and I honestly think if Enzo and Cass were together, they would be, this day and age, as New Age Outlaws. We may never know. We may never know. This is why I am actually interested in seeing what they do on the indies, because together they're money. Separate, they were garbage. I'm glad that they're back together and they reconciled and put away their differences, because together they are a great act. WWE didn't realize that. They certainly did, and now they're off and running, hopefully, with a brand new start to their careers. And I hope WWE realizes that they fucked up. Not that they would have any success in WWE anyway, because look at the fucking tag team division right now in the state of tag team wrestling in WWE. They would have never gone anywhere with WWE just completely shitting on not only them, but tag team wrestling in general. To a point where Monday Night Raw doesn't even have tag team champions. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins have been off TV for a fucking month. There has not been one legit tag team outside the Revival and the Usos on Monday Night Raw. And you have a wild card rule. Fucking pathetic. Yet I'm the issue. People don't agree with me, and people don't see what the issue is with WWE. They always want to bash me because I'm negative. When you are getting a negative product, I'm always going to give you the exact negativity that they give us right back to you. It's the truth. People are starting to see it now more and more. But I agree with Enzo. I think they broke them up because they were getting too popular and WWE couldn't handle it. They had to bring and ground everybody and bring them down to where they think they should be. They're known to do it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so very much. I don't know if there will be a episode on Sunday, if I can manage to get something in before Saturday. And I have House of Glory on Saturday. If I can get something in before Saturday, I will give you guys something to do. And I'm not sure what's going on right now. So if you see something on Sunday, you'll see it. If not, I'll be back on Monday. So there you go. Not like there's much news anyway this weekend, man. It's been Super Showdown, and pretty much everything I just ran through here, this has legitimately been the top of the news feed all week. Usually I have a ton of stories. This week I have nothing, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. Sean Ross Sapp and a couple others in the community were stating that it's been a dead week. Nothing's been going on. Outside of Jon Moxley winning the IWGP US Championship, nothing has been going on. But thank you guys so very much, man. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications. That's JD from NY206 on Twitter and Instagram. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. Make sure you guys check out Harry's, harrys.com/script. Make sure you guys check out the Ridge, ridge.com/script, code script at checkout for 10% off. And make sure you guys check out all of the other videos that you might have missed this week, including Super Showdown that happened on Friday. That was the unofficial, yet official, start to Off the Script this weekend, man. Plus Raw, Smackdown, and NXT. Thank you guys so very much, man. I'm getting out of here, and I will see you hopefully back here on Sunday, if not on Monday. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and thank you for being a part of Off the Script this week. And until then, guys, thank you so very much. I'm calling LAX and the Lucha Brothers tonight in Queens, New York. I can't fucking wait. As soon as I get the footage, I'll show it right here on the podcast, man. But have a great weekend, guys. Again, I might be back on Sunday. If not, you'll see me on Monday. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you then, guys. Take care.